Welcome to a new practice today. This one is especially made for new moms with very small babies, newborns. So even if you just had your baby recently, you can do this practice because we're gonna leave out the fragile hip area and just focus on the upper body, which is commonly very tight for new moms and even moms with small children. So for this practice, we are going to use a blanket. So please grab that. And when you're ready, hop on the mat and I'll see you there. So let's start. The first posture we are going to do is on our back. Now you might want a blanket for this, or maybe you won't even need it. It depends on how tight you are in your upper back. I'm going to show you how you can prepare that blanket in case you want to use it, but know that it's optional. So I have a blanket here. I'm going to roll it up into a sausage, or call it sushi roll, whatever. And we are going to take this blanket and put this towards the back end of your mat. Then sit in front of it, and now you're going to lie with your spine directly over that roll. The head is resting on the roll as well. If for some reason the roll is too short, then take a pillow or something. And now your knees, they can just one knee lean against the other knee. And your arms, you're going to just take them out to the side with the elbows bent, like so. And even though I'm not breastfeeding anymore, I can feel quite a big stretch in the front of my shoulders, in my upper arms. And we're just gonna breathe here. And if this is, as I said, if this is too strong for you, too strong of a stretch, you can do this exact same thing, just lying flat on the mat without any blanket rolled up underneath you. And this sometimes is just enough, just even flat. Now close your eyes, and we're gonna take a few breaths. I know that you are short on time. You never know when the baby is gonna call you. So let's keep it short but sweet. And you will see these are pretty simple techniques, so you can just sprinkle them in your day or just stay longer whenever you want to. In this pose, when you feel comfortable and you're enjoying it, you can stay 5 minutes, even 10 minutes. But for this session, I'm gonna come up and show you another variation that you can do to target a little bit in a different way the upper body. So I'm gonna roll over to one side and then lift myself up. All right, so now instead of lying over it this way, I can turn this around and put it like this, and it's gonna go about underneath the bra line. And you will see that in this way you get quite a different stretch, and you can put your arms in any way that feels comfortable. I really think the most important thing is that you connect with your own body and feel what it's asking you to do, how it wants to stretch. You can have the legs straight, or you can have the knees bent. And as you come into the shape, relax into that blanket or a towel that you have rolled up. Maybe you're just lying flat on the ground. Make sure to relax your face, your eyes. And taking that break from your responsibilities and as a mommy. One more deep in and exhale. With time, you will know which of these postures are the most beneficial for you, and then you'll be able to just choose and do whatever serves you best. So let's lift the knees back up, rolling to the side again. I'm gonna come up. So now we have stretched a little bit our front body. can actually use this to sit up on. It's optional, depends how comfortable you are, but sitting up a little bit higher can be very nice. So let's keep the legs crossed, and now we're gonna stretch a little bit into the side. So take one hand out to the side, the other arm up, and stretch over to the side. Bring your head into a comfortable position. Sigh out any stress, tiredness. And really this practice is perfect for those days when you're just really tired but achy and you can't work out, or you're not even supposed to work out yet because maybe you're not even 8 weeks postpartum yet. But these upper body stretches, you can do them, even a day, 2 days after your birth, if you can sit up and move a little bit. And then coming up, you're gonna keep that arm out to the side, but you're gonna stretch it down and diagonally away from you and tilt the head to the other side, just to get a stretch into your neck. So at the moment, especially when you're a very freshly, baked mom, you can't do a lot. You're not supposed to work out yet in the first few weeks, or do any core work, moving your pelvis too much, because everything is still so fragile. Let's come up and take the other side. So walk your hand over, take your other arm up and stretch the other way. But upper body stretches, they can be a great, something great that you can do whilst you can't do anything else. Breathe into the side that you are stretching. If your arm gets tired, you can just relax it a little bit more, or even bring it behind you. Stretching here into the intercostal muscles, and then come up. Now we're gonna stretch into the neck, the other side. So tilt the head to the ear, to the shoulder, and oops, I think we're doing the other side, yeah. Always happens to me that I mix up the sides. But I'm sure that you know which side you stretched and which one you didn't. Mom brain. And actively stretch that hand away from you whilst stretching the neck. Take one more. And then come back. Great. So now we are going to remove that and hop onto our hands and knees to do something called cat and cow. So come on your knees, bring the hands under your shoulders, and we're just gonna round and arch the back. And maybe even just doing this small movement, sometimes the lower back feels achy. Sometimes we are so sensitive. Even the smallest things can feel very fragile in the body and achy. So be very, very gentle with yourself here. Focus on breathing. Inhale as you lift the head and arch your spine. And then exhale as you round your back, tucking the chin. And if you feel that some position feels really good for your body, then just stay there. You can start to be a little bit more organic in this movement as well, doing maybe some circles with the hips, or taking the hips from side to side, but be very, very gentle. Notice whether going into child's pose feels appropriate, and if it does, then go back and rest your head. This should feel like a nice release in your lower back. And we're just going to stay a couple of breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Let it go through the mouth. Soften your fingers. And then as you inhale, come up again. And from here, we are going to come into downward facing dog just for a second, and then walk yourself forward into a standing forward bend. You can spread the feet a bit wider than your hips, and you're gonna take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers and stretch the knuckles away. Another great stretch for the front of the body, but in the same time stretching into the lower back, into the legs. Keep the knees bent, please. Quite a bit bent. You will still get a lot of stretch here. And then release, come up. Engage the belly muscles, the pelvic floor as you slowly come up. Bring the head up last. And now I'm gonna show you a stretch to take by the wall. So you're gonna come over to a wall. Take your hand to the wall. Let's start with the index and middle finger facing up. And then you're just gonna turn away from that hand. Careful, because the shoulder wants to go up towards the ear, and we don't want that. Bring the shoulder down and a little bit back, and then turn away, and you will feel a lovely, lovely stretch here into your armpit, into the front of the shoulder, even into the collarbones maybe, into the fingers. This is such a great stretch for when you're breastfeeding or bottle feeding or holding your baby a lot. So let's turn back, and now just turn the hand so that the thumb is looking more up now. And you know what, maybe you're just gonna even stay here. Maybe just pressing the hand like this against the wall is more than enough for you. But maybe you wanna again walk a little bit away from your hand and be careful not to hinge up with the shoulder, yeah? The elbow doesn't have to be completely straight, but it's rather towards straight. Maybe you are like micro bending the elbow. Again, all of this can be done separately. You don't have to do it in that order. I've put it in that order because I think it's a nice sequence to start lying down and then kind of work your way up to standing so that you're just ready to go after the sequence. But you can, choose and take any of these postures however you need. Let's release. Notice how you feel different on one side than on the other. And then let's do the other side. So again, bring the fingers so that I'm gonna just show you so you can see, so that the middle finger and the ring finger, the middle and the index finger looking up. And then you're gonna push against the wall, bring the shoulder down and turn a little bit away from the wall. And you will maybe notice that one side feels different than the other. For me, this side is much more painful than the other. I can feel it into my fingers, where on the other side, I didn't feel it in my fingers at all. And it's just normal. We are really one-sided creatures in a way. We're holding baby more with one hand, or doing work, household work, more with one hand. Been holding the mobile phone a lot of times with one hand, but with the other. All of this has an influence on where and how we feel tight and why we are so uneven in our bodies from left to right. Now we're gonna turn a little bit away back, and then now turn the hand so that the thumb looks up. Ouchie, ouchie, that feels really intense for me. And I'm gonna breathe through it, just as you did when you were laboring. So inhale. And exhale, knowing that you're doing so great. You've just accomplished an amazing job growing a baby. And now you are nourishing it, taking care of it, this human, vulnerable human, helpless little being. You should be really proud of yourself. Take one more breath. And let's turn back, release that hand. Maybe shake out your hands a little bit, shake off any stress or worries. anything that's bothering you, off it goes. And with this, thank you so much for joining. I wish you a wonderful day. Until next time.